next race, Al Ghul.
After a brief hiatus, Arrow returns following the stunning conclusion to Nanda Parbat. On the table lies an offer from Ra's al Ghul. Ra's wants Oliver to succeed him as the future leader of the League of Assassins, to be the next Ra's al Ghul. So our vigilante hero sure has one hell of a decision to make. Would he take up Raz's offer and become the new heir to the demon, as surely declining his request would lead to some punishing repercussions? Welcome to the top 5 moments of the episode, followed by the overall verdict.
You mean they have to kill for you? Well, Mr. Queen, they have to die for me.
After receiving the offer to take over as the future demon's head, Raz in truth presented a compelling argument. He questioned Oliver on his success so far, telling him how much more he could achieve with the resources of the League. Would Oliver accept, decline, or take some time to think?
Let's go home.
And the day we take the law into our own hands is the day that we become outlaws. And that idea was precious to me.
Upon finding more bad guys at his doorstep, Captain Lance had some harsh words for the Arrow. After recently finding out from Laurel that his other daughter is gone, and that the Arrow had been lying to him this whole time, the trust that they had was broken.
But I see the man under the hood now. He lies, and he keeps secrets. And I'm done with him.
But there is a prophecy. The man that doesn't perish at the blade of Ra's al Ghul will become Ra's al Ghul.
After Malcolm presses Oliver about the conditions of why they were let go, Oliver informs him of the offer that Raz made him. Surprisingly, it doesn't stutter Malcolm in the slightest. It seemed as if he was expecting it.
Oliver, don't delude yourself into thinking you have a choice.
And Ponce de Leon traveled the earth in search of them, and their discovery by Al-Qadir is chronicled in the Quran. They have permitted me to live way beyond my time.
Again, it wasn't mentioned by name, but Raz's description of the legendary waters leave no doubt in mind of what they are. And after Nyssa aggressively confronted Raz about selecting an outsider over her to becoming the heir, Raz once again visited his Lazarus pit, to show that not only do they give long life, but that they possess healing powers as well. Well, that's one way to get someone to accept an offer. Raz predicted to Oliver that his city would turn against him, and he's already seen patches of that now that Lance has lost his trust in him. But to have an entire city turn on you is a far bigger ballgame. And it looks like Raz has already played his card on how to force Oliver's hand to accept.
You tell everyone who listen what you've seen. Go.
My overall verdict for this week's episode of Arrow is an 8 out of 10. There was no doubt that this episode would centre itself around the offer that was made to Oliver. Raz offered Oliver the chance to become the future Demon's Head, to take the reins of the League of Assassins and to take them in the direction that only he would see fit. If Oliver wanted the League to renounce killing, they would. After all, he would be their leader. He spent most of the episode weighing up the options in his head. Raz's prophecy of the city turning on him was already starting to come true. further tempting Oliver to accept the offer. Now, as expected, and as Malcolm correctly stated, the offer wasn't really an offer. Raz intends for Oliver to take the lead and will force the hand if need be, proven with the scene at the end. Now, the blowback of Raz killing as the Arrow is sure to dent his reputation as intended. Does this mean that the Arrow will now be hunted, considering the rest of the city will presume he's back to his old ways? That to me is the way it's looking. Lance wants a reason to go after the Arrow, so if he begins to hear about the killings that are happening, there is only one way that Lance is going to go, and he will not listen to reason. Elsewhere, Nyssa's arc is getting better and better after she aggressively confronted her father about being snubbed as the new heir. She felt ashamed that the title would be given to an outsider rather than herself, and stormed out of Nanda Parbat after receiving the news. But there's no way that Nyssa is just simply back in town to help Laurel train and remind her of Sarah. To me, I think she's gunning for Ollie, to prove herself to her father that he has indeed made the wrong choice. Now, the episode throughout was very solid, but there was one standout moment that wasn't in my top 5 that had me just speechless. For me, it was the sudden re-emergence of Shado. Whether or not it turns out to be a fake out remains to be seen, but if she is alive, my only question is how.
Shadow?
Now, what do you guys think? Do you think he's seeing things? It's just an illusion playing with his head, a look-alike? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the world of Arrow is no stranger to bringing the dead back to life, as proven with Oliver. But if Shado is alive and well, that could be seen as a bit of a stretch. Here's hoping we find out the true answers next week. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you next week.
Maybe I should be Ra's al Ghul.